y'all. I don't even know. Oh, okay. We're gonna be reading chapters 31 through 35. Also, that honey hot tea. That honey hot. Oh, I guess it's just honey. Hot honey, bro. That stuff right there with ginger and lemon. No joke. It got my throat and my stomach burning. Anywho, oh, I left my pen. It's okay. So we're gonna read 31 through 35. Let's see what this is about. Okay, so 31. Aholiab and Bezalel. The Lord said to Moses, "See, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God." That's what it said, the Holy Spirit. With the ability and intelligence, with knowledge and all craftsmanship, to devise artistic designs, to work in gold, silver and bronze, in cutting stones, for setting and carving wood, to work in every craft. And behold, I have anointed him with Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, the son of tribe of Dan. I have given to all able men ability that they may make all that I have commanded you: the tent of meeting, the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is on it, and all the furnishings of the tent, the table and its utensils, and the pure lampstand with all its utensils, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offerings with all its utensils, and the basin and its stand, and the finely worked garments, the holy garments of Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons for their service as priests, and the anointing oil and the fragrant incense for the holy place. According to all that I have commanded you, they shall do. The Sabbath. The Lord said to Moses, "You are to speak to the people of Israel and say, above all, you shall keep my Sabbaths, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I, the Lord, sanctify you." So this applies to us as well. You shall keep the Sabbath because it is holy for you. Everyone who profanes it shall be put to death. Oh Lord, ain't that something? Whoever does any work on it, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of solemn rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day shall be put to death. Therefore the people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout their generations as a covenant forever. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel, that in the 6 days of the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave to Moses, when he had finished speaking with him on Mount Sinai, the 2 tablets of the testimony, tablets of stone, written with the finger of God. Written with the finger of God. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know God had fingers. I didn't. I didn't know. So is this what they mean when he say we're made in his image? Like we look physically how God, well, spiritually as well, but we look physically how God looks. Not that we're on the same level as him, but we're made in his image. Okay, that makes sense. So the golden calf, chapter 32. When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, the people gathered them. Oh wow, so he's still on the mountain. I guess this represents the 40 days and 40 nights, because I remember when he first left his people. When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, the people gathered themselves together to Aaron and said to him, "Up and make us gods who shall go before us." Y'all already cheating. As for this Moses, the man who has brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. Wow. The man that is talking to God on y'all behalf. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? They didn't forgot who God was just that fast. Isn't that crazy? We forget who God is because we don't have a leader in front of us. That is wild. They forgot who God was already. Wow. Wow, that's wild to me. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. Up make us gods who shall go before us. Wow. Okay, so Aaron said to them, take off the rings of gold that are in your ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. First of all, I didn't know the sons were wearing earrings. So other people took off the rings of gold that were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And he brought the gold from their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool and made a golden calf. Oh, so is this their new god? Is this their new god, the golden calf? Is that why, lowercase god, is that why the golden calf is so, because I've heard about that before. And they said, these are our gods, or these are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, tomorrow shall be a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. And the Lord said to Moses, go down for your people whom you brought up out of the land of Egypt. They have corrupted themselves. They have corrupted themselves. How many gods do we have today? Food, alcohol, weed. We have so many gods. They have turned aside quickly out of the way that I have commanded. Quickly. Wow. They have made for themselves a golden calf and have worshipped it and sacrificed to it and said, these are our God. These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it's a stiff-necked people. I didn't know that's what they were saying back then. Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them in order that I may make a great nation of you. But Moses implored the Lord his God, and said, O Lord, why does your wrath burn hot against your people, whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians say, with evil intent did he bring them out to kill them in the mountains and to consume them by the face of the earth? Turn from your burning anger and relent from this disaster against your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, and said to them, I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have promised I will give to your offspring. So right now he's telling the Lord to remember. And they shall inherit forever. And the Lord relented from the disaster that he had spoken on bringing on his people. Sometimes you gotta remind God, like, hold on. Because it's not that God forgot. Sometimes we forget. So God showed them mercy. Then Moses turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand. Tablets that were written on both sides. On the front, I wonder if he spent the whole 40 days and 40 nights down there. Excuse me. And and on the back they were written. The tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. When Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, "There is a noise of war in the camp." But he said, "It is not the sound of shouting for victory, or the sound of the cry of defeat, but the sound of singing that I hear." Okay, so wait, who said that? Okay, so Moses said that. It's not a sound of victory, and it's not a sound of cry, but it's singing. And as soon as he came near the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, Moses' anger burned hot, and he threw the tablets out of his hand and broke them at the foot of the mountain. So he kind of messed up too, because anger overtook him. So the thing that he was sent to do, he couldn't even do it no more because he was so angry. That's why we gotta keep calm. And we can all learn from this, because anger sets your mission, like it changes the whole mission. Okay. He took the calf that they had made and burned it with fire, and ground it to powder, and scattered it on the water, and made the people of Israel drink it. Ain't that something? It was your boy Aaron who helped them make this. And Moses said to Aaron, "What did this people do to you, that you have brought such a great sin upon them?" And Aaron said, "Let not anger of my Lord burn hot. You know the people, that they are set on evil. Where they said to me, 'Make us gods who we shall go before us.' And for this Moses, the man who has brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know that. We do not know what has become of him." Sorry. "So I said to them, 'Let any of you have gold, take it off.' So they gave it to me, and I threw it in the fire and made this calf." When Moses saw that the people had broken loose, for Aaron had let them break loose, to the derision of their enemies. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Who is in the Lord's side? Come to me. Who is on the Lord's side? Come to me." And all the sons of Levi gathered around him and said to them, "Thus says the Lord of Israel, put your sword on your side, each of you, and go to and fro from gate to gate throughout the camp, and each of you kill his brother and his companion and his neighbor." So now things about to get ugly. And the sons of Levi did according to what Moses said. And that day about 3,000 men of the people fell. And Moses said, "Today you have been ordained for the service of the Lord, each one at the cost of his son and his brethren, so that he might bestow a blessing upon you this day." The next day Moses said to the people, "You have sinned a great sin, and now I will go to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." So Moses made for themselves gods in gold. So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Alas, this people have sinned a great sin. They have made for themselves gods of gold. But now if you will forgive their sin, but if not, please blot me out of your book that you have written." But the Lord said to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me, I will blot out of my book. But now go lead the people to the place about which I have spoken to you. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day which I visit, I will visit their sin upon them." Then the Lord sent a plague on the people because they made the calf. So the plague was sent from sin, and that still goes today. When we sin, we bring in all types of stuff. We won't even be knowing. the command to leave Sinai. The Lord said to Moses, "Depart, go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, to your offspring I will give. I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go among you, lest I consume you on the way, for you are a stiff-necked people." When the people heard this disastrous word, they mourned. Yeah, that's what happens when you disobey the Lord, which we all do. Shoot. When the people have heard this disastrous word, that's the result of disobedience. They mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. For the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the people of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. If for a single moment I shall go up among you, I will consume you. So now take off your ornaments, that I may know what to do with you." Therefore the people of Israel stripped themselves out of their ornaments from Mount Horeb onward. The tent of meeting. Now Moses used to make the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far off from the camp, and he called it the tent of meeting. And everyone who sought out the Lord would go into the tent of meeting, which is outside the camp. Whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people would rise up, and each would stand at his door and watch Moses until he had gone into the tent. When Moses entered the tent, the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent, and the Lord would speak with Moses. And when all the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, all the people would rise up and worship at his tent door. Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. Okay, I didn't know that's how the Lord was moving. I think it did say something. I'm pretty sure it did say something back then about face to face, but as a man speaks to his friend. When Moses turned again into the camp, his assistant Joshua said, the son of Nun, a young man, would not depart from the tent. Moses' intercession. Moses said to the people, "See, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name." This is what Moses said to the Lord, okay. "And you have also found favor in my sight. Now therefore, if I have found favor in your sight, please show me now your ways, that I may know you in order to have favor in your sight. Consider too that this nation is your people." And he said, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." And he said to him, "If your presence will not go with me, do not bring us up from here. For how shall I be known that I have found favor in your sight, and I and your people? Is it not your going with us, so that we are distinct, and I your people, from every other people on the face of the earth?" And the Lord said to Moses, "This very thing that you have spoken I will do for you. This very thing that you have spoken I will do for you. I have found favor in my sight, and I know you by name." Moses said, "Please show me your glory." And he said, "I will make all my goodness pass before you, and will proclaim before you my name, the Lord. And I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy to whom I will show mercy. But," he said, "you cannot see my face, for man should not see me and live." Okay, so he didn't see him. He didn't. I don't understand how they spoke face to face, but he didn't see his face. Maybe I'm missing something. So no man shall see God's face, and live. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place by me where you shall stand on the rock. And while my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft on the rock. Cleft on the rock? Okay, let me start over. You shall not see my face and live. The Lord said, behold, there is a place by me where you shall stand on the rock. And while my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft of the rock, and I will cover you with my hand until I pass by. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. So chapter 34. Now this is getting good. How much time I got? Ooh. What does that say? 21 minutes. The Lord said to Moses, cut for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first one, and I will write on the tablets and the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. Be ready by the morning, and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me on the top of the mountain. No one shall come with you, and let no one be seen throughout all the mountain. Let no flocks or the herds gaze opposite that mountain. So Moses cut 2 tablets of stone like the first one. And he rose early in the morning and went up on Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and took in his hand 2 tablets of stone. The Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. The Lord passed before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast faith. Steadfast faithfulness, keeping steadfast love for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, but who will by no means clear the guilty. So I love all of this. Visiting the iniquities of fathers on the children and children's children to the 3rd and 4th generation. Imagine seeing the Lord. Oh my goodness. And Moses quickly bowed his head toward the earth in worship. And he said, if now I have found favor in your sight, O Lord, please let the Lord go in the midst of us. For it is a stiff-necked people, imparting your iniquity and our sin. Take us for your inheritance, the covenant renewed. And he said, behold, I am making a covenant. Before all your people I will do marvels, such as not been created in the earth, or in all the earth, or in any nation. And all the people among whom you are shall see the work of the Lord, for it is an awesome thing that I will do with you. Observe that I command you this day. Behold, I will drive you out before the Amorites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Take care lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land to which you go, lest it become a snare in your midst. You shall tear down their altars and break their pillars, and cut down their Asherahim, for you shall worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is a jealous God. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and when they whore after their gods and sacrifice to their gods, and you are invited, you eat of his sacrifice. And you take of their daughters for your sons, and their daughters whore after their gods, and make your sons whore after their gods. You shall not make for yourself any gods of cast metal. You shall keep your feast unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. I'm going to start this. Hold up. It's going to end soon.